So, good afternoon guys, it's me again, Federico Tigbak. Welcome to another series of vlog that I will title Chapter tutorial of 1 to 11. So, let's go for the tutorial. So, our chapter tutorial is all about the chapter 2, configure network operating system for the instructor materials. So, there's the section and objectives. So, 2.1 iOS Bootcamp, explain the features and functions of the Cisco iOS software. Explain the purpose of Cisco iOS. Explain how to access a Cisco iOS device for configuration purposes. Explain how to navigate Cisco iOS to configure network devices. And describe the command structure of the Cisco iOS software. 2.2 basic device configuration. So it will configure initial settings on a network using devices using the Cisco iOS software. Configure hostname on a Cisco iOS device using the CLI. Use the Cisco iOS command to limit access to device configurations. Use iOS commands to save the run configuration. So for the basic configuration of 2.2, so there's the device names. So at the previous video, so there's a picture, so the device name. So there's the first step. Then when configuring a switch is to assign it a unique device name or host name. Host name appear in CLI props can be used in various authentication process between devices and should be used on topology diagrams. Without a host name, a network device are difficult to identify for configuration process. The configure hostname. Once the naming convention has been identified, the next step is to apply the names to the device using the CLI. So the hostname name global configuration command is used to assign name. So in limiting device access, there's a two steps for it. So secure the network devices to physically limit access by placing them in wiring closets and lock racks. So that is the step 1. So for the step 2, enforce and secure password as the primary defense against the unauthorized access to network devices. So for the configure password, say the secured privilege exec access using the enable secret password global config command. And secure the user exec access by configuring the console as follow. So encrypt password. The startup config and the running config files display most in plain text. This is secure the threat because of the anyone you can see password if they have access to all of these. So use the service password encryption command. For banner message, there's the banner MOTD. So the address So there's the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. So the the switch virtual interface to remotely manage a switch, it must be also configured with an IP configuration. And however, a switch does not have a physical Ethernet interface that can be configured. Instead, you must configure the VLAN one switch virtual interface, or SVI. So there's the IP address in the IP address, subnet mask, and enable in VLAN. So the IP address is uniquely identifies the switch on the network. The subnet mask identifies the network, the end host portion in the IP address. In enable, using the no shutdown command. So the end-to-end connectivity test. So there's the ping. So the ping command can be used to test connectivity to another device on the network or a website on the internet. So let's go to the chapter summary. So in this chapter 2, it explained the features and function of the Cisco iOS software. So configure initial settings on a network device using a Cisco iOS software. So given an IP address, share, configure IP address parameters and end devices to provide sorry for that, end-to-end connectivity in a small to medium size and a business network. So I will go to the previews because I forgot one thing. So in the configure of network operating system, so for the word operating system, so it is all electronic devices required an operating system. So there's the Windows, Mac, and Linux for PCs and laptops, Apple iOS and Android for smartphones and tablet. So Cisco iOS for network device, switches, router, wireless AP, firewall, and etc. So there's the type of OS. So the first is the OS shell. So the OS shell is the either command line interface or CLI, or a graphical user interface GUI, and enables user to interface with application. So second is the OS kernel. So the OS kernel communicates directly with the hardware and manage how hardware resources are used to meet software requirements. The physical part of the last is the hardware. So the hardware is the physical part of the computer, including underlying electronics. So what is the purpose of OS? So using the GUI enables a user to use a mouse to make selection and run programs, enter a text and text-based commands. So using a CLI on a Cisco iOS switch or router enables a network technician to use a keyboard to run CLI based on network programs. Use a keyboard to enter text and text-based commands. There are many distinct variations of iOS. The iOS for switches, routers, and other Cisco networking devices. iOS number version of a given Cisco network devices. So what is the purpose of iOS? So access method. So there's the console port, secure shell, and telnet. So the console port, out of band port serial used to primarily for management purpose such as initial configuration for the router. So the Secure Shell or SSH is band method for remotely and securely establishing a CLI session over a network. So user authentication password commands and sent over to the network are type encrypted. As the best practice, use SSH instead of Telnet whenever possible. Telnet in band interface remotely establishing a CLI session through a virtual interface over a network. So the user authentication password and commands are sent over the network in Painted. So that's all for now for the chapter 2 tutorial. So thank you, don't forget to subscribe.